guys, it's Michelle, Deception Bytes, and I am bringing you the latest Q, except that it's really not the latest Q. I mean, it is, but it's from yesterday. Q has not posted today. These are from yesterday. It's kind of old bread, probably getting a little moldy by now, I don't know. But I had a problem with my computer yesterday, and I had some crashes happen, and I just could not get this out yesterday, but I'm back now and I'm going to proceed. So, and as far as I have seen, there is no Q for today yet, but that may change and probably will. So before we get started, I just wanted to note something. In my last video, when I said that I felt that Q was directing that at me, I really am not narcissistic enough to think that Q knows who I am and is specifically directing that at me. No, that's not what I was thinking. I may have miscommunicated that, because what I meant was I felt that he might have been directing that at all the people on YouTube that are covering Q, and of which I am one of many. So that is why I felt how I felt. But thank you guys for encouraging me in your comments and so forth. I really appreciate it. I do want to be adding value. I don't want to be just here reading something or going over something. I do want to be adding value and really researching the stuff as far as I can, and still keep up, because there's a lot. But anyway, let's move on with that and get started. Now, I pulled this off of the boards, the H-hand board, because it's written by an anon. But apparently, from what I understand, this anon had the same IP address as Q. And personally, I think that Q, because we weren't getting it, dropped this on the board, but he did it under an anon. So that's what I think. I could be wrong. They used a different trip code. It's not Q's trip code, but it did come from Q's IP address. So I'm thinking, because we weren't getting this whole Iron Eagle thing, that he just kind of dropped this little tidbit so that we would direct our research where it needs to be directed. So, and I was thankful for that. So, this next post of Q on the 29th, yesterday, just acknowledged this post above by an anon. And this anon said R equals 18 Q. Now, I'm not sure, maybe he's quoting Q at that point. I'm not sure why he ended that with Q, but this guy is responding to, hang on, this guy is responding to this guy who said, you forgot the R. R equals 18. Now, this anon, eager lion equals iron eagle. So, now, and we're going to find out what Eager Lion 18 is the full name of this. Okay, we're going to find out about this now, but we just have to follow this train for a minute and see where it's going. Now, this guy, you forgot the R, was responding to this guy. And this guy is saying, how do you idiots think Iron Eagle is Eagle Lion 18? See, Q down here said Eager Lion, Iron Eagle, but it's really Eagle Lion 18. And Q was just, I think, getting us in the right, pointing us in the right direction. So this guy says, how do you idiots think Iron Eagle equals Eagle Lion 18, which is the name of it? And we're going to look at that in a minute. It's a military operation, training exercises. So-called training exercises, and it's called Eagle Lion 18. Well, because Eagle Lion doesn't have an R in it, right? So where's the R come in? Well, you forgot the R. R equals 18. Eagle Lion 18. So, and this guy was responding to this guy up here. And you kind of missed the fact that eager lion, eagle, iron, eagle. So Q's drop about Iron Eagle is pointing to Jordan, the country with the most Palestinians in the world living there, as a U.S. military partner. And Jordan is also the location of the land of Moab and the last stop on Pompeo's Mideast tour. Expect an important announcement from Moab early Monday morning. All right. So first, we're going to see, what is this eager lion? Not eager, eagle lion, rather. So here's a Q post. And this was April 28th. And it said, Godspeed, patriots. Stay strong. Stay united. Boom week ahead. Now, you go to the U.S. Department of Defense, and yesterday they posted this. And they put this picture, and it says, here comes the boom. U.S. Marine Corps Marines brace while an entrance is breached during the exercise. Eager Lion 18. So it is Eager Lion in Jordan. And this was the 29th, and they're showing this. Now, this is actually Iron Eagle. This is what Q was referring to, apparently. And let me just see here. I want to just check something. Anyway, okay. So let's go on. And we can go out. I just pulled this out, but we can actually go and see the status on the Twitter account, on Department of Defense Twitter account. And they were the ones that the other day we commented on them having the pizza there. So, and here's welcome to Jordan, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Actually, that was the wrong link. But that's another link that Q provides. So let me see, let's go back. Yeah, that's the one that Q wanted us to look at, is the U.S. Embassy, and that's Mike Pompeo is there. I thought I had put the link to this U.S. Department of Defense, but apparently I didn't. But I think you all know how to find the Department of Defense on Twitter. All right. Oh, here it is. Okay. Now, Q is responding to himself. He put this tweet down here, and then up here he's responding to his same Twitter, the same post that we just went over. And he says, connect. No coincidences. And so he's wanting us to connect the U.S. Embassy of Jordan welcoming Mike Pompeo and this, because they're related. So here comes the boom. U.S. Marine Corps brace while an entrance is breached during exercise. Eager Lion 18 in Jordan. And here comes the boom. I was just thinking, I was just seeing if there was anything else here. All right, so let's go back. Chop, chop. We got a lot of ground to cover still. Okay, I'm saying that to myself, chop, chop. So that covers that. And then Q here is responding to this poster above, this anon. I believe it's an anon. It might even be his. No, it's an anon. Okay. U.S. Central Command at CENTCOM during the day and into the night exercise Eager Lion 18. Jordanian Marines and U.S. Marines conduct live fire training to rehearse operating in a coalition environment. Now, apparently this has been going on for a long time, and I know some people said, so what? That's been going on for years. Well, there's a reason Q's bringing it up. And you know how often training exercises go live, right? And we all are aware of that. So Q, responding to this Anon who posted this, just acknowledges it. And then this below, this Anon was making reference to the post that says R equals 18. All right. Now, another Anon posted this. Now, let me make this a bit bigger. It's a little dark, that picture. And it has a picture of, I'm not sure if it's US or, I guess it is, yes. How about these for Friday Night Lights at U.S. Army, is that specialist? Eric Littlefield looks for obstacles as his crew lands in Amman, Jordan, during medical evacuation training as part of Eager Lion 18 at Air Force, photo by Master Sergeant Joshua L. DeMotz. So this is a picture of specialist, I guess that's what that, I'm not sure, I don't know all the military, Eric Littlefield, and he's looking for obstacles as his crew lands in Amman, Jordan during a medical evacuation training. Part of that ongoing training with Eager Lion 18 is the operation, and Q responds to this. It's very pretty, actually. Q responds to this by saying, assets in place. Q. Interesting. Now, here we're on to a whole other thing. Okay, so we had last week Q referring to red carpet event. So I pulled that out so we could refer to it because sometimes it helps. It's hard to remember everything. And here, an Anon, this was April 24th, and an Anon wrote, when will we have Moab? And Q responds and says, should we tell all the good people watching the day and time red carpet rollout? Think logically. The world is watching. Q. Now, someone had said something, probably on one of the on the HN board about red carpet rollout. Maybe it's the daytime Emmy Awards on Sunday night, which would have been April 28th. And quite frankly, I thought that was ridiculous at the time, but they were right. They were right. So I apologize for even thinking that. I'm not going to call somebody's idea ridiculous. I didn't call it ridiculous, but I thought it in my head. So, and I don't know why, but I just didn't think that there was a relation there. And since they were having an important state dinner that night, I thought maybe it was referring to that. I didn't know. So anyway, let's see here. So those are the old posts, and then this is the new post, and this was yesterday. Actually, some of these posts were from 2 days ago. Then some of these posts were from from Sunday night. I apologize. I don't know where my head is, but I'm going to put it back on my shoulders. All right. So April 30th, yesterday, Q says Emmy Awards. Red carpet event, Q. So Q was saying, they asked him, when will we have Mother of All Bombs? Should we tell all the good people watching the day and time? Red carpet rollout? Think logically. The world is watching. Okay, so that, now that I look at that, yeah, that's a hint, because the good people watching the day and time, it's daytime, Emmys, red carpet, it's a red carpet event, the world is watching, the daytime Emmys, Well, they're also watching those boards, but it was meant to be a double intend, and whatever. So let's go look at the link. Well. Look at this. 30th of April, 2018, 1:27 a.m. Some speculate there was Israeli involvement, but Syrian state media says sources of blast unclear. Pro-rebel news outlet reports facility used to stage attacks on opposition forces. So explosions reported at alleged Iranian militia base in northern Syria. Well. That was April 30th, but I'm not sure what the time frame, because I think that would have been Sunday night. I don't know. Let me see. April 30th would have been, yeah, that would have been early in the morning. The awards were Sunday night, and this would have been just a few hours later in the early morning of Monday. So, yeah. And this is all very interesting, and we're going to be getting into more of this because Q drops a lot more interesting information coming up. A series of explosions of unknown origin rocked northwestern Syria near the city of Hama, maybe, late Sunday night, Syrian media reported. According to the Orient news outlet, which is affiliated with the Syrian rebels, the blasts occurred in a base belonging to the Syrian Army's 47th Brigade, which is being used by Iran-backed Shiite militias. The base is located just south of Hama. The facility was said to house a weapons depot, which accounted for the size and intensity of the blast, which could be seen from kilometers away and reportedly registered on seismographs in the area. So that's a pretty big explosion. Let's move down here. Syrian state media reported that authorities were working to determine the cause of the explosions. The Orient news outlet noted that the base was known to be the headquarters of Iranian militiamen and had been heavily involved in attacks against rebel forces in the area. Some on social media speculated that the alleged Iranian facility has been hit in an Israeli airstrike. As a rule, the Israeli Air Force does not comment on its activities abroad. Videos of the blast show a fireball lighting up the night sky. Oh, heck, let's look at the blast. That's a big blast. Because we're a heck of a long way away from it in this video. Wow. That would have been something to see. Wow. Okay, well, all right, well, I hope nobody innocent was harmed there. Earlier Sunday, Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman said Israel would preserve its ability to act all over Syria against any threats and would not be deterred if Russia supplies the Syrians with advanced air defense systems. He added that Israel would stop at nothing to prevent Iran from using Syria territory as a base to attack Israel. We will maintain freedom of operation in all of Syria, Lieberman said, when asked about Russia equipping Syria with advanced systems. Well, we're going to find out that that's not quite what's happening. Israel had repeatedly voiced concerns that, as well as trying to deliver advanced weaponry to the Lebanese terror group Hezbollah, Iran has been using the unrest in Syria as a means to establish forward operating bases that could be used to launch rocket attacks and other military action against Israel. Israel, Lieberman said, will prevent Iran from establishing a forward base in Syria at any cost. So, let's go back to Q. Keep pushing on so that we grab all the good stuff. We're going to grab that orange and just squeeze the juice right out of it. All right. So, I think that would qualify as a Moab. It's a big boom. And That's what the Department of Defense said. Here comes the boom. Referring, of course, to the picture below and probably to what just happened in Syria as well. So, let's go on. So, April 30th, yesterday, Q says no name out now. And then he gives us a link, which we're going to take a boo at. And this is Lindsey Graham. James Comey, I don't trust him. I think he was part of an effort at the FBI to give Clinton a pass. The way they conducted the investigation was a joke. The thumb was on the scale. The head investigator by the FBI hated Trump, liked Clinton. So, and I'm not going to play that, but we'll go back to what Q says here. And he says, we love good singers. Now, I think what he's saying is Lindsey Graham is singing like a canary, because he always talks about people singing, and he's been saying this since the beginning of the Q drops. He's been saying, you know, when does a canary sing and things like that. So that's what he's referring to. We love good singers. At first I looked at that and I went, what? And then I saw that by Lindsey Graham and I thought, okay, that's what he's saying. Lindsey Graham singing like a canary, telling him some info on John McCain. No name McStain. So now here we're up to, I guess it's not that much to cover. I guess it just felt like more to cover when I was researching it. Well, it is a lot, but okay. April 30th, yesterday. Define the terms of the Iran nuclear deal. Now, I'm not going to go through it and define all the terms because he's pointing to one thing in particular. So that's what we're going to focus on. Does the agreement define and confine cease and desist pro to the Republic of Iran? So, does the agreement define and confine the cease and desist in a way that is pro-Iran? Like it's helpful to Iran? Well, apparently, yes, because the Iran nuclear deal didn't even define confinement of Iran's nuke effort. So they grew a nuke facility in northern Syria. We knew and can trace planes, cache, and U-1 material. So the agreement didn't tell them, okay, you know, you don't do anything in your own country. Well, okay, but that doesn't rule out, you know, putting their nuclear facility in another country, does it? So it's pro-Iran and against U.S. So that's interesting, isn't it? Sneaky little buggers. They're sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Okay, what if Iran created a classified satellite nuclear facility in northern Syria? Well, what if they did? They did. He's not just asking us this rhetorical question. You know, he's telling it. I mean, this could be a statement. Iran has created a classified satellite nuclear facility in northern Syria. So what if the program never ceased? It didn't. It didn't ever cease. You know, sure, you can, even if they're inspecting the facilities in Iran, they still have the facility in North Korea. I mean, North Korea, northern Syria. Getting all these countries mixed up. So, what other bad actors are possibly involved? Well, probably McCain, definitely Obama and Clinton, because they're, you know, Obama is behind all the money, Clinton's behind the uranium one, so they're definitely involved. Probably McCain, I would think, because I think that stain spreads everywhere. Did the U.S. know? Yeah, the U.S. knew. Where did the cash payments go? How many planes delivered? Did all planes land in the same location? No, they didn't. And that was established in an earlier post by Q probably several months ago by now. But I'm not sure where the planes all landed. I'm not sure, and I'm not sure how many planes there were. I have looked and looked and looked for this information. If anybody has it, please let me know. Just for my own sake and for the sake of others that are listening that may not know as well. So just leave it in the comments below, please. So where did the uranium-1 material end up? Syria. Is this material traceable? Yes. And then Q answers it for us. Yes. Is this material traceable? Yes. So, interesting. Let me go down here to this for a second because I'm wanting to check on something. I'm just wanting to check on something I just thought of. What's that? Where is the... Maybe it's still up. Okay. I was just wanting to see exactly where this location was. Yeah, it was in Syria, and I was wanting to see if it was in northern Syria, and I believe it was. So I think that's what they were blowing up, that nuclear facility and weapons. That's what I believe. Okay. Let's go back. Okay, we're getting there. So, no, we're on to the next one. We need to still be down here. Nope, we don't. Sorry. So, they didn't have a deal to confine it to their own country. There wasn't that in the Iran nuclear deal. They created a classified satellite nuclear facility in northern Syria, which we blew up. Maybe it was a combined force, I don't know, but we blew it up Monday, early Monday morning. What if the program never ceased? It didn't cease. What other bad actors? McCain, Obama, Clinton, probably others. Probably others. Did the U.S. know? They sure did. Where did the cash payments go? Well, we don't know. Possibly they went to Syria. Don't know. How many planes delivered? I'm not sure of that either. So, did all planes land in the same location? No, I know that they didn't. Where did the U-1 material end up? It ended up in Syria. Is this material traceable? Yes. Define cover. Oh, we know what cover is. You know, you do one thing so that you can, as a cover, so that you can do something stealth. You know, you invite somebody out for a meal under the cover that they're really going to a birthday party. You know, everybody knows what cover is. What if the U-1 material ended up in Syria? It did. It did end up in Syria. What would be the primary purpose? What do you think the primary purpose would be? I think it would be to attack the U.S. or Israel. Then Q says, sum of all fears. Now, this is a movie. It's old now, but it was a very, very good movie. Really, really well done. And Q says, in the movie, where did the material come from? It was a black market weapon. Okay, so in the movie, Boston is nuked. I mean, completely wiped out. And it was a black market weapon. Now, it was originally on an Israeli plane that crashed in Syria in the movie. It was dug up, so after the plane crashed, they dug it up and they sold the weapon on the black market. But I believe, and I know that the plane crashed in Syria in the movie, but somebody said that the uranium in the movie actually came, its original source was from South Carolina. So I don't know. I mean, we know that he's comparing the sum of all fears to what is happening now, and we know that the uranium from the United States went through Canada, went through all these different channels to get where it got, and was sold, into the black market. So I don't know. I would say that maybe this person who said that it originally in the movie came from North or South Carolina is probably correct, because that would mirror what's happening today. So he says, what country? Now, I said Syria. It was from Syria, but I think it originated in the movie from South Carolina, ended up in Syria. What would happen if Russia or another foreign state supplied uranium to Iran, Syria? Well, we'd be at war with Russia, right? Right? Okay, if Russia was supplying nuclear weapons or uranium to make nuclear weapons to Iran or Syria, knowing full well that they would attack the U.S., probably Israel, maybe our Western allies, we don't know, would we not be at war with Russia? I can assure you we would. And Q obviously agrees. He says war. Absolutely. That would lead to war. So we have been baited in the mainstream media and made to believe that this uranium for these weapons is coming from Russia. It's not. It's not. It's coming from the deep state. That's where it's coming from. Who want us in a World War III. They want that. They've been planning it for a very long time, and there's more than enough proof of that I can say it confidently. They've been planning this for a very, very long time. So that's what they were trying to do. They're trying to goad the U.S. into going to war with Russia, and they'll mutually destroy each other. So yeah. Now, what does U1 provide? Well, it produces the fissile material for nuclear weapons. So you need the uranium to be able to have to make a nuclear weapon. You can't make it without it. So sorry, my phone was on vibrate there and it's going off, but this is more important. Okay, define cover: to hide from sight or knowledge. Why did we strike Syria? Well, I would say to recover or destroy the uranium stockpile. That's what I'd say. And I think we went in under the cover of chemical weapons, which now, I mean, there's proof that there were no chemical weapons, and that was all staged. It was all staged. It was a very elaborate staging. But why? Well, to give us a reason to go in. You can't just go in there willy-nilly and start throwing, bombs around. Well, you could, but I think that would upset Russia a great deal. So, and other people as well. It would upset pretty much the whole world. But if you go in under humanitarian-like reasons, you're going in because, look, this horrible man is gassing his people. He's attacking them with chemical warfare, and we need to go in and destroy those chemicals so that this doesn't happen again. Except we weren't really destroying chemicals because there weren't any. We were destroying the uranium or recovering it. I don't know, one or the other. I think probably blowing up the ability in northern Syria, blowing up their ability to create nuclear weapons, blowing up the facility. because that was belonged to Iran. And the same thing as the mysterious earthquake in North Korea, which destroyed their ability to create nuclear weapons. So that's what happened. Define cover. We have defined it. Patriots in control. So Q is reminding us that, okay, we were all upset. Remember, everybody was all upset and ticked off at Trump because they thought he believed that Assad had attacked his own people with chemical weapons. Everybody was ticked off. Everybody was ticked off. And I kept feeling that, okay, this is just a really elaborate ruse. I really felt that way because it just didn't seem to fit. Because Trump's not stupid. He is not stupid. So I figured that this was being played out, and he couldn't very well come on the 8chan board and tell us what was going on because we know that all the clowns are watching and everyone else. The whole world is probably watching that board now. So, yeah, that's what he did. It was a ruse. And then they went in and they destroyed the weapons, or they destroyed the uranium, they destroyed their ability to create further weapons. Pretty smart. Pretty smart. Now, let's go up to the next one. Now, this Anon wrote this, and I just pulled it out here. An extraordinary complicated plot. All along, ISIS and the migration to Europe were distractions while the Iranians were doing their thing. Americans high up in the American government transfer American uranium and tons of cash to Iran to help them produce a nuclear bomb. The bomb was to be used to nuke the USA, and then the Russians were to be falsely blamed for the attack. President Hillary Rodham Clinton would then go to Congress and get approval to declare war on Russia. It would have been World War III, all to enrich the Rothschilds, Hillary Rodham Clinton, Barack Hussein Obama, and their evil friends. They needed desperately for this to work. Things suddenly went awry when Hillary Rodham Clinton lost the election, but the cabal is still pulling all the tricks. They've sent May, Manny, and Merkel to try to convince POTUS to stay in the Iran deal. All of them failed. Now they're in panic mode because there will be no war with Russia, and they have been exposed. But did they really think this through? It seems a bit short-sighted. We have nuclear weapons to fight such a war, but so do the Russians. Neither side would win. The nuclear fallout would severely impact the planet for decades, the air, the water, the food. Where were the elites planning to go to spend their billions and live a life of luxury and ease after they poisoned and destroyed the planet? How long did they plan to rough it in the underground bunkers? These people are not just stupid, they're insane. So I pulled that out because I think it was exceptionally well written, and I think it's right on. And I pulled this out too, just because I did. In January of 2016, Iran held 5 American prisoners. The Obama administration transferred $400 million in U.S. assets to Switzerland and other nations, which were converted to foreign cash, including francs and euros. American officials permitted Iran air officials to take control of the money and depart from Geneva only once. The U.S. hostages were boarded and wheels up on their way home. The $400 million in foreign bills stacked onto pallets was flown from Geneva to Tehran in an unmarked cargo plane. A further $1.3 billion was transferred in a series of 13 money transfers of 99. Is that 99? 99,999,999.99. From the U.S. Treasury Department Judgment Fund. Each transfer was 1 cent less than the 100 trillion limit imposed on, maybe it's 99 billion, 999 million, 999, I don't know what that is. Anyway, the 100 million limit imposed on such transfers. Attorney General Loretta Lynch pled the fifth when questioned on this matter. Well, of course she did. And here's a tweet by Trump. It's a Trump tweet. And there's the cash on pallets, which this is very, very blurry. never gotten over the fact that Obama was able to send $1.7 billion in cash to Iran and nobody in Congress, the FBI, or Justice called for an investigation. Now, this was the 18th of February, 2018, that he tweeted that. And this person, MAGA Pill, on Twitter, said, you know what bothers me? How in the world did Obama manage to send over $1 billion in cash to Iran and nobody in Congress called for a single investigation? We know that DOJ and FBI were in his pocket, but what about our congressman? So he's retweeting this tweet by Donald Trump and just asking about this money. And I just pulled that out for reference. And this is an older Q post. This is from the same day. That's on February 18th. And never gotten over the fact that Obama was able to send $1.7 billion in cash. So it's like Donald Trump's tweet and Q's tweet, or Q's post, were very close. And the Great Awakening, no escape, no deals, trust the plan, happy Sunday, Q. Now, this is like the last post, I believe. Oh, I pulled this out as well from an anon because I didn't know this, but The Sum of All Fears, the book, is dedicated to Admiral Rogers and his wife by Tom Clancy. Isn't that interesting? That is fascinating, I think. So, I don't know. Makes me wonder. So, okay. Here's the last Q post for today, or from yesterday, actually. Haven't seen any posts from today yet, but I will check. So, Q says, knowing what you know now, Israel disclosure moments ago. Now, let's see what their disclosure was. This is from April 30th, yesterday. Let's go take a boo. Netanyahu's speech on Iran deal proves that I was 100% right on Iran deal. That's by Trump. Iran did not come clean on its nuclear program, Netanyahu says, saying more than documents Israel's obtained proof nuclear deal is based on lies. That sentence not well written. AIPAC praises speech while J Street says it proves need for accord with Iran. So I'm not going to go through all that Netanyahu said because it mirrors what Trump's been saying, basically. So I'm not going to go through all that. But that's what he was basically saying, that it's a bad deal. Glaring flaw, 3 takeaways from Netanyahu's Iran lied speech. Iran nuclear deal is based on lies. Here's the proof. The Mossad ran a fake diving resort for tourists in Sudan. This is an incredible story behind it. Well, that's interesting. I'll have to read that later. Anyway, okay, let's go back. And I have another link here. Let's see what this is. Oh, yes. Then we have this chick here in her little, what is that called? A sarong? I don't know. Her little headscarf. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's allegations of a secret Iranian atomic weapons program have been dismissed by EU diplomatic chief Federica Mogherini, who says Iran is complying with its nuclear commitments. Oh, is it? Is it really? So she's negating what Netanyahu said and what Trump are saying. She's saying that they are in compliance. We need to assess the details of the statement Prime Minister Netanyahu has made. She said in a statement on Monday night after Mr. Netanyahu made global headlines by offering substantive proof of an Iranian plan that could be activated at any time to deliver an atomic weapon. So, Mr. Netanyahu said Iran's failure to disclose its secret program while misleading the world shows the nuclear deal is based on lies, based on Iranian deception. Mogherini also stressed the International Atomic Energy Agency needed to assess the Israeli claims that Tehran was in breach of its 2015 nuclear deal brokered by then U.S. President Barack Obama. The IAEA is the only impartial international organization that is in charge of monitoring Iran's nuclear commitments, she said. What I have seen from the first reports is that Prime Minister Netanyahu has not put into question Iran's compliance with the JCPOA, meaning post-2015 nuclear commitments, she added. And I'm not going to go through all this, but basically the EU is claiming that they're compliant. And why might they do that? Why would they want to do that? Well, we're going to find out. So he says, knowing what you know now, Israel disclosure moments ago, authentic? I said, presumably. I would assume. Why is Secretary of State there? Well, he's probably providing intel to Israel regarding Iran. Wouldn't that make sense? There may be other reasons why he's there, of course, but I would assume that that's one of the most important. Why is the EU and others pressing to remain in the deal? That's what I wanted to know, and that's what I wanted to research, because it doesn't make sense to me. Why are they so adamant that the U.S. remain in the deal? Well, it's all about money, of course, always. The reimposition of U.S. sanctions on Iran would ultimately also hit European business interests that deal with the Islamic Republic. Trade between Iran and Europe has resumed, mostly driven by oil exports from Iran, but the Islamic Republic has also signed agreements with Airbus, the European aircraft manufacturer, to buy 73 jetliners. Iran signed a similar deal worth $20 billion to buy 110 aircraft from Boeing, the American aircraft manufacturer. German exports to Iran, meanwhile, rose by 26% last year. British firms are reportedly considering deals with Iran that could be worth $600 billion over the next decade. All of this stands to be threatened by any new sanctions. Think logically. We are. It's always about the money. Money or power. Money or power. Now, France and Germany came to the White House for the sole purpose of pressing POTUS to remain in the deal. 5% shared. Now, I'm not exactly sure what he's saying. Maybe 5% of what they discussed has been shared, or he discussed 5% with them. I don't know. I don't know what he's saying here exactly. Probably that he has only shared 5% of what they talked about. I don't know. POTUS declassified Syria, Iran, plus the Uranium One connection. Where does the EU fit in? Sick. So he declassified this, and he has let it be known that Syria and Iran is connected to Uranium One, which is connected to Hillary, which is connected to Obama, and probably many deep state actors. So where does the EU fit in? Well, money. They want their money. They don't care about, what these guys are doing really. They want the money. And Q rightly says, sick. Q. Yeah, knowing this right here, why would the EU be so worried about finances? Why? It's okay, nuke the US. We just want our, billions of dollars here. Yep. They'd probably, the EU, if we were nuked, they'd be over here roasting marshmallows on our ashes. You know that, right? Along with all the Islamic countries. They'd be over here, they'd be putting wieners on sticks and roasting it over our ashes, and, they'd be making s'mores, singing campfire songs. You know it's true. All right. Well, that's it for today. That's all I have. So I'm going to get this uploaded early, and then I will check on Q posts, and I will bring you another post this evening with the current posts if there are some. So thank you so much. I appreciate you guys, and if you want to be subscribed, make sure you stay subscribed because they drop people from the channel, and stay safe.